Today in the crypto space, we see the market showing a bit of strength. Bitcoin right around 86,000, up approximately 1.5%. Ethereum holding steady. The altcoins also going sideways, desperately looking for a place to bounce off of. And of course, we're waiting for Bitcoin to continue moving to the upside. And in the meantime, we could see Bitcoin suck liquidity out of the altcoin market for an eventual rotation. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one project that is at the bottom of the range, desperately looking for a reversal, and that project is called SEI. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunity. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with this market, because we do see Bitcoin continuing to show strength. Today was a really good day for Bitcoin, especially for Bitcoin longs. At the current moment, we could be looking for a little bit of a pullback. We know that we're going to get an orange swan event coming out very soon. Donald Trump is going to be giving us a bit of a speech, and let's see what happens there with regards to, the news. We definitely see him, sometimes cause a bit of a stir, and we got to be prepared for that volatility. It's going to be coming out any second now. But at the same time, guys, we are seeing strength in Bitcoin. Ultimately, that is what I'm expecting for the immediate short term. That's what I'm expecting for the midterm. And obviously, I'm expecting strength out of Bitcoin for the next little while until we start to see a rotation. Because until then, guys, we know that Bitcoin is the safe haven for a lot of people, right? It is that number two next to gold, and maybe one day becoming the number one. And we're seeing a lot of this safe haven talk. Of course, you're seeing that gold is that leading indicator of where people are risk on or risk off. And at the current moment, we're seeing strength in Bitcoin. So that's a good correlation there. In the meantime, we're seeing the beginning of a potential rotation here in the altcoin market. Some of them doing well. Look at Solana, nice 3% pump to the upside, but a lot of them are still kind of going sideways, waiting for the rotation, even on lower time frames. Rotation into altcoins can exist on many time frames. And even on lower time frames, we can see a bit of profit taken off of Bitcoin, and we can see slow rotation into the altcoin market. But what's more important to me is to see fresh capital enter the space, because that means we rely less on rotation and more on fresh capital bringing up the markets and the total market cap rising. It is still around $2.9 trillion, as you can see. However, we're still in a little bit of an uptrend here, which is very, very positive, which is good. And what's even better is this uptick in volume on the last leg to the upside. So guys, we're seeing a bit of market participation here. We're seeing a little bit of an upturn, which is healthy, guys. We've been on a downtrend for a good while here. It's time for a bit of relief. It's time for a bit of a move to the upside. And of course, a lot of us are speculating on whether this is going to be the move that takes Bitcoin and this crypto space into the bull run once again. Okay, so let's keep on going down. You're gonna note that a lot of the altcoins haven't really even left the station. If it's wrapped Bitcoin or anything related to Bitcoin, we could show a little bit of strength. Cardano's doing pretty good. I know it's only 1.3%, but you can see the confirmed higher low and a higher high confirmation for a change of character on the 1 hour, which means that Cardano could be looking for a bigger bounce. Guys, we have to understand that this is all possible, especially with that rotation from Bitcoin profits getting into altcoins very soon. Even on lower time frames, as I mentioned. So as you can see, bottom level, rounded bottoms. Guys, these rounded bottoms are across the altcoin market at the current moment. We could get liftoff any moment here now. Look at Hype. Hype is performing very, very well. And like I said, it's only 3.5% to the upside, but it's the structure that gets me excited here. The rounded bottoms, near protocol looking pretty good. And as you keep on going down, there's a lot of goodness happening here out of these rounded bottoms. Look at Ondo doing great with this nice accumulation range. ICP, bottom of the range, doing its thing, holding steady. We got Cosmos looking okay. And as I keep on scrolling down, you can see that this is the case. Render, Athena, Filecoin, more and more projects now rounding off at that bottom. Algorand doing pretty good. All right, guys. So this is it, guys. This is it. This is probably the opportunity where we see that relief. So make sure you prepare those bags appropriately. And as per usual, guys, I'm going to be talking about an altcoin today. SEI is at the bottom of the range. So let's begin. I know you're here to talk about price action. So let's get right into it. And as per usual, we'll begin our analysis talking about Bitcoin. Why? Bitcoin is a great leading indicator. Ultimately, when we see Bitcoin do its thing, we have to understand that Bitcoin is doing its thing. It is propping up the markets. It is causing people to enter the market, fresh capital to enter the market. It's definitely the headliner, and that is healthy, propping up the markets, right? So on the daily, guys, there's nothing really to be said other than, guys, we're still in a downtrend. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here and be this bearish on a good day, on a good couple of days here. But the reality is nothing has changed on the daily. Really, we're still in a downtrend. Let's be real about that. Now you can see change of character, guys. I'm really active lately on the lower time frames with the community on the Discord, guys. We've been killing it trading on the lower time frames, finding those entries, finding those exits. Feel free to join, guys. It's absolutely free. We got a lot of us trading there, helping each other out, navigating these markets, and we are definitely producing good green numbers. Whether we go long or short, it doesn't matter, guys. All we do is stay one step ahead. So feel free to join. It's free. Links are in the description. But again, I'm looking mostly on the lower time frames because the daily at the end of the day is still an uptrend. I like this. It's great, but resistance is right here. We could get a bit of a pullback on lower time frames, and I have a few shorts open right now to hedge against that dip. But ultimately, I'm looking for a bigger move up. Guys, we're going to break this trend eventually. It looks like it. Momentum's in the uptrend, which I like. And look at the EMAs right now. We got that duck face that's really opening up right now, and definitely green histogram bars. Guys, this looks so good. If we get in the bullish control zone, we are going to see Bitcoin run. Okay, and it could be that we see Bitcoin maybe hit 95K. And then I'm going to be a bit worried about this resistance right around this level. But, point of control, lots of volume, lots of emotion. Got a little bit of price action here to cause, a bit of that volatility. So I'll be worried. But if you go on lower time frames, guys, this is what's been magical in the last little while, guys. Really, really magical. It's because of this change of character that we identified really, really early. Congrats to you guys if you've been following me here, looking for this change of character, level to level, day by day. We've been tracking it, and finally, nice reversal to the upside. Nice follow through to the upside, and obviously now we're worried about resistance. This is the level of resistance, and at the current moment I am in a leverage short to basically hedge against this short-term dip. Okay, this is the reality. We got to be prepared no matter what happens, long or short. But at the end of the day, guys, join the Discord because that's the best place to get these updates. It's hard to trade the lower time frames and make videos like this that are reasonable. We got into this change of character on this dip, and so far so good. We could get a bit of relief to the upside to punish late shorts, but it's all good, guys. It does look like we could potentially get into a downtrend for a short-term dip and then continue to the upside. This is how we navigate the market. So that's Bitcoin. Short-term could be due for a continuation of this pullback. Long term, meaning midterm, or talking about the 4-hour, guys, it looks pretty good. I'll be honest, it looks still bullish. We still could get another pop to the upside, and as we get closer to the weekend, things kind of get a little bit hectic out there for trading, so be careful out there. So make sure that you have a plan ready to go. But then again, what do we do about these altcoins, right? Do we start buying into altcoins right now? I say it's not a bad time to start getting some exposure into alts. Now, again, DCA nice and slow, building those positions, getting into small leverage, scaling up those leverage positions slowly. And as of course today we're going to talk about SEI. What would I be doing about SEI? Let me just quickly arrange this chart properly on the screen, and you can see that the chart is looking good. We are slowly dipping down. We are slowly into this wedge, a falling wedge, which these falling wedges are really nice structures. Again, they mean a lot, right? They're not just patterns. They're not just shapes. They should tell you a story. And if they don't tell you a story, it's because you don't really understand what's really happening with this. We're squeezing. We're melting down. We're getting a slow melt to the downside, and we're slowly squeezing lower and lower and lower. And when you start to see divergence, which we can clearly see on the trend oscillator, and just keep in mind, guys, this is the daily time frame. Okay, and you can see that the momentum is currently in an uptrend while the price is clearly in a downtrend. This is class A bullish divergence. Now there's 3 drives currently at the moment being in play. which means that 3 drives to the downside while we're still maintaining an uptrend in momentum. That is a good sign. And this is how usually we see the charts produce falling wedges this way. And this is why I like the falling wedge, because it seems like every impulse of the bears, every attempt of the bears is getting weaker and weaker and weaker. Looking at momentum, expansions are getting weaker and weaker, and you can see the RSI is totally going to the uptrend, right? So the momentum is totally in the uptrend. Volatility is in a good spot. Look at this right now, completely oversold. Every time we were oversold, we got a bullish response. Now the question is, do we get a bullish response while in an uptrend? Real question is, do we finally get follow through? Does the bullish divergence finally get follow through? Technically speaking, after a while, as we approach the apex of the falling wedge, eventually we should break out, especially that we are at critical levels of support, very important levels of support. As you can see, we pick up lots of volume right into here that could act as support, and we fell through the volume gap that should act as support. So my biggest concern at this current moment is that we start looking for support right around these levels, okay, and ultimately that we eventually start to break out here. Okay, and what I'm going to be looking for is market structure that suggests pivot. Right now, we're still in a lower low, lower high type of scenario. We need to start seeing evidence that we're going to start making higher highs and higher lows. At this current moment, we could start building a response, even if it's lower than this high. Let me get rid of some of these lines so we can see this a bit better. We can make a response that's lower than this high, that's fine. And then we come down for a higher low, and then we go up for that higher high, maybe get another rejection here. That's possible. But ultimately, what we're looking for is this rounded bottom where we start to see, it starts to look like a head and shoulders formation. These are how patterns are formed, guys. It's nothing about the shape that makes the pattern bullish. It's the story behind the pattern. And if you can tell the story with Class A bullish divergence, we get a bit of follow through. Maybe we do break the top in one go. All good. It's a higher high, higher low, confirmation low. Let's get going. Inverse head and shoulder again. A bit slanted, but all good. We start to go up for higher highs and higher lows. The trend reversal has been, played out, which is good. And that's what I'm going to be looking for here in the next little while. Now I'm looking at the daily. In the meantime, you could start looking for options on lower time frames. Start looking at the 4-hour and so on. Before we go there, let's take a look at what's going on here with the trend oscillator. It's clearly in an uptrend, guys, while the price keeps on falling. As you can see, look at these expansions getting weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker over time. Okay, this is Class A bullish divergence, and the EMAs are in an uptrend. Momentum is clearly shifting to the upside. Eventually, we should start seeing that follow through that I'm talking about here, guys. So this is why I'm saying you got to choose where the levels of that you're willing to start to take risk. And right now is not a bad opportunity. Okay, so I can kind of see that we fell through the volume gap. We could get a bit of bounce, and then maybe get a bit of a rejection here, and then continue to the upside. This is the moment. This is called a trading moment, guys. This is a moment where you should start being prepared to get in some trades, get into some scenarios here. And if you look at the 4-hour, okay, we are still leaving the station. We are preparing to leave the station on the 4-hour. Let me get rid of some of this artwork here for you guys. You can see we're oversold. You can see the red expansion is over. We're tapering in. Are we due for a green expansion? Are we going to start to see the momentum shift to the upside? Is the volatility line, the orange line, going to stay up here for a good while? It could, but obviously the way to get in here without taking too much risk is to see this line get oversold again and then start getting long right into this level, right? And you can see the bullish response, how weak it was. In fact, it was very weak. We barely moved. Okay, so thinking about getting into shorts is possible, but understand that our bias right now could be bullish in the next little while, because we could come down for another bearish move and continue to the upside. We're talking about lower time frames, trying to time a bottom like that one. It might consist of many little bottoms and obviously performing a nice structural pivot structure right into this level. It's a bit early. As I zoom in here, I can see an Adam and Eve V recovery, rounded bottom, nice push to the upside with a nice accumulation range at the bottom, which suggests, reversal as well. And I kind of like that. And if we go on slightly lower time frames, you'll see what I mean. V recovery, rounded bottoms is a nice structure that I like always trading, getting into this level and breaking these tops eventually eventually gives you that follow through to the upside. And if you're looking at the 1 hour follow through, then you start to question, what about the 4 hour follow through and finally getting this bullish response at this level? You know, this is where we start to get really hectic. So it's up to you. What are you going to do about this? Are you going to wait for the volatility to come down to get oversold a little bit and see what kind of bearish response? Or are you going to start getting in nice and slow and DCAing in, laddering into a position for a potential reversal to the upside? Guys, I prefer the latter. I prefer to literally ladder in bit by bit, not getting into too much risky scenarios, because the reality is on the daily, like I mentioned earlier on Bitcoin, we're still in a downtrend. Also, the reality is that, you know, we got the orange man coming out any minute now, you know, giving us an orange swan event. Anything could happen. And then obviously we have other things that happen in the traditional markets. We are seeing that the macro environment is not even the healthiest. So what we have to do is be prepared to trade these lower timeframes as best as we can. Okay, guys, but big picture, we're doing okay here, and it's looking like a good level to start DCA, just in case we get that recovery to the upside eventually, because ultimately, you look at this, guys, you are not buying any tops. You are not exit liquidity. This was already exit liquidity. It was already over. We identified these levels really, really early on. These levels right now were accumulation. These were, you know, obviously another level to take profit. And guess where we are now? Another level where you may want to take a bit of risk, guys. Slow and steady DCA into this falling wedge for a nice reversal to the upside, and we'll take it day by day. Guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.